welcome back to another Outdoor Philosophy, and we are continuing in on our discussion on living financially free. And what we're going to talk about today is frugality. Of course, I'm mostly a minimalist, and that is one definite way to be frugal. You don't have to be a minimalist to be frugal. Frugal basically is a word would mean that you're not buying things at full retail. You're not spending full amounts of money on everything that you want. You are watching your dollars. Of course, if you've ever read Benjamin Franklin's autobiography, he talks a lot about living frugal. And like I said, you can be like a hoarder and live frugal. My mother is not quite a hoarder, but getting perilously close, has boatloads of stuff, and I'm not sure she's bought most of any of it in a store, you know. She just hunts for deals and garage sales and antique stores and just little places just finding different things. Of course, there's couponing. Some people are into extreme couponing. That's one way of being frugal. Do I do that? No, I actually don't use coupons much at all, just because the things that I get, generally there aren't coupons on. Where do you find coupons for your lettuce greens at a farmer's market, you know? Things like that. So depending on your circumstance and situation, if you buy a lot of processed packaged foods, you'll get a lot of coupons for those types of things. If you're buying mostly fresh foods and raw foods like I usually get, not a lot of coupons and those types of things, depending on which store you're at and things like that. So overall, frugality doesn't just mean you never buy anything. Frugality just means that if you do buy something, you're looking for a deal. So like the camera, this is a very good DSLR camera. I hunted and hunted and hunted, and when I found a good deal on it, I paid cash for a really good camera that was, I think it was on like a 25% off sale or something, and it's a great camera, and I saved quite a bit of money on it. I would not have gone out to the store and paid full retail for it. Same thing with, you know, computers, computer parts. I go to the thrift shops more often than I go other places. It's just a reality of what I do. I don't think I've spent more than maybe $50 in clothing a year for, I think, my entire life. Because if I need a new pair of jeans, I go down to a local thrift shop. I can find a pair of jeans down there. Some people aren't that extreme. Some people are. I do buy things new. I don't buy only from there. I'll hunt around. Where can I find a deal? What type of deal am I looking for? These are all things that you want to ask yourself a question. Now, of course, being a minimalist, I don't buy a lot. And that is one really good way to be frugal. Some minimalists, of course, don't buy a lot, but pay a lot for what they do have. So, like I said, the two are not mutually exclusive. So, as a minimalist, what does your life look like then? Well, you don't buy a lot of stuff. I have very little things. Sometimes people get me gifts that are just trinkets. I usually just give them away within a very short period of time because I don't want extra stuff laying around. I just don't. I'm a very utilitarian person. If it serves me a purpose, hey, that's great, and I'll probably buy it. So, like, gifts for me, consumables. Get me coffee, get me tea, I'll use it. That's fine. Paper towels, whatever. That's the type of thing that a minimalist is going to be like. So, as far as being frugal as a minimalist, again, I don't buy a lot. I actually went through my house, and I think I took, something to the effect of 20 or 30 garbage bags out to the dumpsters when I was first converting my life over to minimalism. I carried with me just piles and piles of paper, which all required extra bins and extra things and extra weight and extra people to carry every time I moved. And I wanted to get rid of all that kind of stuff, so I converted to minimalism. But as far as minimalism in my current life, I've gone through the kitchen and got rid of all the appliances except for I have one cupboard with a few appliances in it. What do I still have in there? I have a cappuccino maker, which I do like a good cup of cappuccino every now and again. So I have that. I actually have 2 crock pots, which is a little odd for me. And the reason is one of them I used to make large soups. The other one I used to make small things like baked bean batches. So I actually have 2 crock pots, which is very unusual for me to have 2 of something like that. I also have up there a blender, a mixer, and a food chopper. I think that's all of the appliances that I actually have, and a toaster oven. So all of those things, the toaster oven, bought at a secondhand store, paid $3 or $4 for it. You know, that's the type of stuff we're looking at. So as trying to become financially free, the reason frugality is so important is the money that we have is a reflection of the money that comes in minus the money that goes out. So if I'm pulling in, I could be pulling in $30,000 a month. If I'm pushing out 35, I'm in the hole. I'm going broke. But if I'm only pulling in about $2,000 a month and I'm only letting go of about $1,500, I have a net gain of $500 a month. And that's the type of thing that the question is, what do you do with that spare $500? So learning to be frugal is the best thing you can possibly do. We've talked about student loans. We've talked about cash and credit cards and all these types of ways that companies trying to get us to buy their things. Okay. Frugality is kind of the thing that starts putting it all together. Are you looking for a deal? Do you have walk-away power? Do you know what you want, but I'm not paying that price for it? These are some of those things to ask. So as I'm looking at other things, I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm considering buying right now. There's a few things, and I'm just gonna hunt around. I'm going to look for a deal. I'm going to wait until I see something. Actually, a good example is my phone. Of course, now as a privacy advocate, I wanted to run a custom ROM on a phone. So prior to this one, I was still running an iPhone SE, and I said, well, you know, it's getting old, and eventually it's going to die, and I didn't just get rid of the thing. But I knew what type of phone I wanted. I knew I wanted to run a custom ROM so I could do a lot of privacy-centric things. And so what I did is I looked at all of the possible models, and then I started looking at eBays and Amazons and Craigslists about once a week or so. Then I found somebody locally selling one of these guys for $200. That's when it was, you know, a couple years ago, so it was still an in-thing phone. And that's frugality. You know what you're looking for, you're hunting for a deal, you're waiting for it, and then when it comes time, I said, okay, this is a good deal, this is a good price, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I went out, I bought it, I got the thing set up, and then I waited until the SE died. So that was literally what I did. And so it was when that circumstance and those types of situations come up, you look for deals. You don't just rush right on out and buy the latest phone. You don't want to rush right on out and get a contract. You don't ask, can I afford the payments? You ask, how much does this thing cost? And if more people looked at the final bill rather than the how much per month, they wouldn't be dropping thousands of dollars on iPhones and on Galaxies. They would frugally buy a phone that fits within their budget. You can drop cash. You don't have to worry about the insurance if you don't need to. You don't need to worry about just a lot of different things. You get out there, you drop some cash, you have the phone, you own it, you pay a lot less for the plan, and then you can just take a little bit of that extra money, throw it back in an emergency fund. If you do end up losing or dropping your phone, you can buy another one cash for a couple bucks. That's frugality. So again, to wrap up, frugality does not necessarily mean a minimalist. Frugality just means that you're going to be looking for a good deal. You're not as swayed by the marketing. You are looking for the deal that you want. You're looking for the exact thing that you want at the exact price that you want, and you're not worried about all of the ins and outs about what all is going on. So this is what we're talking about. Be frugal. Frugality is the easiest and quickest path to financial freedom because it decreases the amount of money that goes out every month. So thanks for coming along. Check out the rest of the videos in this playlist and the links in the description down below. So thanks for coming along, and I hope that you enjoy your daily walk in our Lord.